ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of The Universal Lens. I am, as always, John Emilio. That is not Henry Beltra. Henry had some stuff to take care of this week. Unfortunately, we couldn't make our schedules work. So until we get the new side set up, which we got to get our asses moving on that. Anthony's back.
Good old Anthony. Back, bro. Happy to be back.
Happy to be back. Happy to have you, man.
Thank you.
Happy to have you.
Yeah, feeling good right now. A little tired, but
yeah,
it's been a long day. Let's just say
long day. When you own a house, it's unfortunately
it's always something new.
There's always something to do. There's always something to put away. There's always something to clean. There's always something to maintain. So when you get in one of those days where you're just running through shit and you're just trying to get stuff done because they need to get done or they're important to get done, you feel kind of shot. And then your buddy comes and goes, "Hey, I got a great idea. How about we throw a podcast in at the end of the day?"
Why not? Let's.
I'm shot too. I just got out of the shower, so I'm tired. Anyway.
But the funny part is John and I are together almost every morning. We hit the gym or whatever. We both have headphones on.
We're not together like that. Not that there's anything wrong with it.
We literally probably say 10 words to each other throughout the entire workout.
Oh,
because head nods and
sure, we have headphones in doing our own shit.
Exactly. So this will probably be the first time we're actually talking today.
I'm listening to my my spiritual gurus, and I don't know, you rock out to.
Yeah, what most people do in the gym, like heavy metal or something like that.
I have Eckhart Tolle whispering in my ear.
Exactly, yeah.
As I'm lifting weights. He's like, "How do you get pumped up for that?" I'm like, I don't know. I don't. I just go through it. I mean, it's nice background.
We're a little older now. The getting pumped up thing is
yeah.
We get too pumped up, we're gonna have a heart attack.
For me,
in the gym.
For me, it's a familiar background noise. So I kind of just like it, feed my subconscious. So anyway, Anthony's here with us today. He'll be filling in. Henry will be back next week, and hopefully shortly after that, we'll have the three of us and with the new format. So what I wanted to kind of chat about today, because Anthony walked in, he's like, "Dude, what are we going to talk about?" My mind's blank. I'm like, me and Henry usually start every show out like that. We're like, "What are we going to talk about?" I don't know. Let's see where it goes. I mean, after 69 episodes, we talk about pretty much the same thing in different aspects every week. It gets kind of, you don't have a set agenda unless something comes up. So you just kind of start a conversation and examples come up and we go down that road. But there is one thing. I wanted to talk about this a couple of weeks ago. I wanted to bring this topic up, but Henry had some great suggestions, so we kind of went with his then. So as you said before, there's a song, which I heard a few weeks back. It's been around for years. I've heard the song forever, but for some reason I was listening to it a couple of weeks ago, and just something resonated with me about it that kind of tied into mindfulness and awareness for me. Live Like You Were Dying. And we said it was Tim McGraw, right?
Pretty sure it's Tim McGraw.
It's Faith Hill's husband, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Great song, right? Like if you listen to the words of it, it's a great song, and it like kind of drives a message home. But if I ask you,
everybody else heard that too, right? Listen, I have a bad accent, but that was thick.
If I ask you, what does "live like you were dying" mean? What would you say that means to you?
To me, that means without limits.
Okay.
Without any kind of limits. Live life to the fullest and don't let anything hold you back.
Okay. How do you do that?
That's difficult to do. Well, you know what? That's probably an answer you and I don't have, because in that song, it sounded like there was a bad diagnosis.
Yeah, it was like a life or death kind of.
Dying.
He got so life smashed him in the face.
Yeah. And so basically, in the song, they asked him, "What'd you do when you found out that news?" He said, "I went skydiving.
Then I went on a bull named Fu Manchu."
Yes, yeah, exactly. So, and then he says, and he goes, "Someday I hope you'll get the chance
to live
like you were dying."
So when I heard that, and this has been a motto of mine, my whole life, but it always meant something where I kind of just wanted to do things. If you really think about it, to live like you were dying is actually the truth. It's a fact, because the moment you're born,
we're all dying,
right?
Yes.
The moment you're born, you actually begin the journey. I know this. People are going, "Oh, it's so dark," but it's not. It's. I actually look at it as liberating. The minute you're born, you actually start your journey to death.
Death and taxes, two things you just will never get out
and
of.
taxes. Well, I know people who try to get out of taxes.
And they never win.
No. You could maybe IRS. I don't. You could check my books. I pay every year, but you could cheat your way around the taxes, but you can't cheat death. Eventually, death will get
Cheating
you. Right?
is a terrible word.
Cheating? Cheat death? What do you mean?
No, you said cheating around your taxes. I said that's a terrible word.
No, we don't. We don't do that.
Cheat is not the right word to use.
But
economically frugal.
Economically frugal. Yes,
we do that.
I don't know a lot of people who say that word.
Well,
yes, I'm
not set off any
just because. Yeah. Anyway, feel free. Check my books. I'm clean. So, but to live like you were dying, because nobody can escape death.
We don't pay attention to the fact that we're dying. But when a doctor gives you a diagnosis, tells you you're dying,
that's kind of where I'm going.
That's a whole nother.
So how come most people have to wait until they get a diagnosis, until something horrible happens in their life? And I know, I kind of know the answer, but it's to try to bring awareness to it, that you don't have to wait until something like that happens to start living your life. Now, when we say live your life like you were dying, all those things he said in the song are great, right? Fun stuff to do.
Can I say something?
Sure,
I think
you can jump in whenever you want.
Caught up in the fog of life. The fog of life is what we get caught up in, and we don't realize we're spinning on this rock through space, and we're all dying.
Amen.
Pretty much at the same time, everyone. And we just don't pay attention to that. But a diagnosis is a baseball bat to the face that takes you right out of that fog of life.
Boom.
Takes you right out of the fog of life and puts you, and pretty much lets you know,
front and center.
Oh, it's front and center. This is happening. And, even though it was happening anyway, a doctor tells you it's happening in 3 months, and now you're going to want to live like you were dying.
So why
get everything in there?
So this is what I'm trying to get to everybody behind that little lens there, is why do we need to wait for life to smack you in the face to realize how precious life is? And I'm not saying precious just to go out and do everything you want to do, because there are limits to life, that 8 things we can do.
Quality things could be sitting at home with your family, watching TV,
doing things that you do, living the life that you truly value, living the life that you truly want to live. All right, and there are experiences that you want to experience, whether it is skydiving or riding a bull named Fu Manchu. Not for me.
I think that he used those examples because those are things.
Yeah, it's a song. It's also a song. I get that, right? Yeah. But if somebody wants to go skydiving, fine, experience it. That's great. But why do we have to wait until life comes and says, you got X amount of time left to live? Then all of a sudden you find forgiveness, you find empathy, you find passions for things. You find everything that's been there your whole life. But most people are clouded by their thoughts, by what they believe, by their perception of what they believe life actually is. That it takes something like that to wipe it all away, and them to realize everything that's been sitting there right here, their whole lives, be like, you can experience life this way if you'd like. Or you could wait until you get an unfortunate diagnosis or something happens in your family, or whatever. It's some kind of altering life event, which happens on a daily basis, right?
I've seen quotes or I've seen sayings where it says, you really, people who really hit rock bottom or have any kind of traumatic incidents will make them appreciate life a little bit more. And again, that's another traumatic event that'll bring that right to the forefront. But without that, people forget that, we're all dying, and maybe we should live life a little more carefree and, and do those things that we keep on putting off to do. And get out there in life.
And get out there and live. So here's the reason that I think, the human mind can't comprehend death. Like it has a hard time comprehending like what happens after death. It's not built for that. It's built to do what? Survive. Human mind's built to survive and survive only. So if people could realize that their mind is not going to automatically give them that perception of appreciation for life, it's going to try to constantly do the next thing, or the next task, just get involved in life and go on autopilot until something like that happens, where they realize, and all of a sudden they go, wait, whoa, hold on a second. I'm listening to all this shit in my head, believing all this crap on TV, listening to all these stories on Facebook. I'm getting all intertwined in all this nonsense in life, and none of it is important. And it's taking you away from the things that actually are important in your life, which don't have to be these grandiose events. Could be sitting with a friend. Could be spending more time with your family. Whatever it might
or
be.
taking your time doing a project.
Yeah, whatever it might be.
The other day, I'm running around my backyard like a maniac, like just to get a project I wanted to do, just to get it done. And I
The
said to
doors,
myself,
the painting of the doors, is that it?
Yeah, that was exactly it, as a matter of fact.
I remember.
And I'm saying to myself, take your time. Just why am I rushing? You know, I looked at my watch. I had time of the day and, you know, plenty of time to do it and nothing else going on. Why are we rushing through a project, or why are we trying to rush through life? Why don't we slow it down a little bit and get into the details of it and enjoy it? You know, it takes a little time to figure that out, though. You know, John and I are getting old, and
it
I
does.
can tell you, if you asked a 21-year-old John and I if we feel the same way, the answer would be no.
No,
you know, just wouldn't.
I've said it multiple times on this show. 10, 15 years ago, I was a different person. I was a to-do machine. To do.
Task-oriented, sure.
Yeah. And that was my smack in the face, where I realized, well, this isn't. Now, I mean, not that everything becomes peachy keen after you have that kind of awareness that happens to you. That what do they call it? Aha moment. Let's just say, right? I mean, even though I believe there are many aha moments in life, but
and the ones that'll really grab your attention, though, they're, you know, that'll really
they're more
they're more
they'll slow me down.
Those are a little more unique. The ones that really, like, you know, obviously with you, with me, we've all had, and I can tell you, in 50 years, you know, there's only one incident that truly grabbed my attention.
Yeah,
you know, and
and it does
probably say the same thing. You know,
so it does. It
can't be ignored. It just can't be.
But I keep going back to, why do we wait until that? Why do we wait for that smack in the face to realize it? It's life is so fleeting. Life is so special to experience.
There was some kind of class or something when we were in high school.
Well, we've talked about this, like a mindfulness class. You
know, and like we've talked about this before, even academically. You know, we don't teach kids really what they need to know in life, whether it be financially. How about mental health? How about how to listen, life's getting more difficult. When we were kids in the 80s, there's no phones, there's no nothing. You just had you and a wiffle ball bat, and that was it.
Life's moving fast.
Can we afford another ball if this one goes on the roof? That's the only question that we had.
And the answer was no.
And the answer was no. That was it. Don't hit it on the roof, you know? But, you know what I'm saying? It's got to hit you right in the face.
It's got to hit you right in the face. But the fact that we wait for that to happen, for me, is, and you made a great point 2 seconds ago. For me, that's just, it's sad, because I see so many people in my life, even people I just speak to on a daily basis, who I could tell when somebody is just still chasing the carrot, the horse chasing it. You know, the proverbial horse chasing the carrot. Does a horse ever get the carrot? No. They use the carrot to keep. The carrot is the mind going next, and we just keep following it. Yeah. We never get that carrot, but there's a way to snip that rope and hold that carrot now if you want. Why do we wait? It's because, and you made a great point just now, because most people don't realize that they have that, what we've talked about now for 69 episodes on the show, that awareness, that mindfulness, that presence to be able to watch their mind and go, hey, thank you, mind, but that's not important. Thank you, mind. That's not important. Like, you're not in charge. You're not the one that calls the shots. You're not the one. Like he says in the song, right? He gave forgiveness to somebody he's been withholding, right?
That's another thing.
That's
too. I forgot about that. Yeah.
And that's what I love about this song. It's a really good song. I like the song in general, but I love it because
I gave forgiveness, I've been denying.
I've been denying. Yep. That's something we actually had a whole episode on forgiveness, probably a few months back.
And to think, as he's dying, that's one of the things, and
so when he realized he's dying, what starts to happen? This is getting a little spiritual, right? When he realizes when he's dying, this is what happens. The ego starts to burn off and die with him. So as he realizes he's dying, the ego now realizes, that's it, I'm done.
I can open up.
So I can open up. It starts to let go of all these inhibitions. It starts to let go of all his judgments. And he realizes, and the person now wakes up out of this, we're going to say a coma, right? Or out of this coma he's been in, or this autopilot, and says, why didn't I forgive him? I could have enjoyed my friendship with that person or that family member for the last 15 years, but my stubbornness, because I had to be right, kept me here. So if you're going through that right now, and you have somebody in your family or a friend that you're denying forgiveness because you feel you need to be heard or you need to be right, and you're carrying that with you, why wait until the very end to give that forgiveness instead? give that person. And if they don't want to reciprocate, you did your part,
Exactly.
and you dropped the bag, and you can live your life. I thought that was a great example. I mean, the other ones about skydiving and stuff, that's just experience in life. But that one,
that's a big one. That
hit
ego.
Me. Yeah.
And you know what? I think it comes a little bit with age, experience, but that life-altering experience is
naturally
also,
yes.
So let me tell you what just happened. Probably about an hour ago, I was dragging a tarp out to the truck. You were talking to my wife, and it was pretty big. And I had a van full of painters who were painting my house. It almost fell right on my face in front of them. I tripped up on it, right? Stumbled, literally almost.
Well, it's a big tarp, yeah.
And they're sitting there having lunch. It was like a little show I put on for them, right? And I scooped up my stuff and kept walking. I don't care. I don't care.
And you mean like to feel embarrassed?
That embarrassment or that ego, that embarrassment, that, that like, what are they going to think? And then when I went to the dump to go throw it out, I threw it over my head. I practically covered myself in the tarp like an idiot.
Yeah, sure.
And I knew somebody.
We all do that.
But all I'm saying is you lose those inhibitions as you get older. Wouldn't it be great to teach that to people when they're younger?
So that's the
point. It took a lifetime for me to go, everybody screws up. Everybody makes mistakes. It happens to everybody. Why are you so embarrassed about your mistake?
Well, it's because their ego's telling them that shouldn't you?
But as you get older, you really don't care about those things anymore.
How many people actually allow their ego to? So if there's a life event, it does start. It can start that process for you.
Yeah.
As you get older, it starts to do that naturally.
Yeah.
Okay. People who practice this, whether it's meditation, mindfulness, presence, Eastern spiritual teachings, anything like that, they start to burn that off at a very, very, very young age.
Yep.
So, I mean, you don't have to wait until you're 70 years old or until life kicks you between the legs and says, hey, here I am, whatever that might be. You can start doing that now. It's a letting go of the identity. It's a burning off of the ego. So to live like you were dying, and this ties into something I said with Eckhart Tolle months ago with Henry. We spoke about it, and I said to him, I go, you die before you're dying. To learn to die before you die. That means learn to let your ego disappear and burn off before you die. And the ego we don't only mean like I need to be right. It could be I'm not enough. I'm not good enough.
And there are situations where an ego is okay to have,
the ego's a thinking mind.
You look at people like fighter pilots, that they're based on their egos. That's why they become better. I just think there is a path where an ego isn't a terrible thing, but for the most part, it holds you back from life.
So what makes him a great fighter pilot isn't their ego. It's their skills.
But I think that ego brings upon competition amongst each other. That's my
point. I mean, that's within. It's even like
I just wasn't prepared to say ego is always bad.
Ego isn't always bad. Ego is a thinking mind. It's how you interpret and use it. But look,
well, there's the clarity then.
Most
that I was waiting for.
Most athletes tend to say, whether they're egoic or whether they have a big ego or they don't have a big ego. I know a lot of successful athletes who never showed an ego. They were level. And those level-headed athletes who didn't go, they were the ones who never got high and never got low. It means they didn't allow the ego to tell you you're the best. I'm the worst. Tomorrow I go do my job again. And I am sure there are tons of fighter pilots. Maverick from Top Gun might not be one of them, but there are tons of fighter pilots who, just use that example because you said it, who go to work every day. This is my job. And I want to be better at my job. And they don't get caught up in all the, I need to be the best, I need to be the worst.
I guess it's what you do with that ego.
Exactly.
That is the real lesson there, yeah.
The ego does get that. It gets thrown into that automatically bed. For me, you don't need an ego to be successful in life. You don't need an ego to be great at what you do. Actually, the less you buy into what it's saying and the more you bring your attention to what you're doing, the better you get at what you're doing. Right, the mind's going to pull you away.
I think for the most part, the ego is what holds you back. It can hold you back.
Sure,
from
no,
growth,
absolutely.
So
it'll keep you
to be mindful of and just pay attention to.
The ego tell you suck. The ego tell you you're the best. So allowing that to burn off at a younger age, like an example you said, like teaching kids would be a great way to do it. To have classes about mindfulness, to have.
I think they do that in places like Japan and stuff.
I mean, hey, not in the West.
No, not in the West. But
we don't do that.
Think about today, though, with all the electronics.
Imagine we had an enlightened population.
The information superhighway we have these days. I think life is tougher for the kids of today.
Agreed.
What would be so bad about teaching them a pathway?
Because
to
everything's here for today's generation.
You're right, but look at what's happening to the kids of today.
I agree.
I think it makes mental illness is much more common these days than it was back then.
And people blame it on, they're just not as strong as we are. No, it's not.
Yeah, no phones, no computers. The friends.
The human being
a lot simpler.
Is like an animal. Like I'm getting a puppy on Saturday, right? Anthony knows about we're getting a new puppy in the family.
Yep.
His name is Milo, so he'll be joining us on Saturday in a couple of days. When I get this puppy, I have to bring him home. I have to train him, right? Teach him how to do things. Teach him where the bathroom is outside. This is where your food bowl is.
But you're not going to wait till he's 5 years old to do it. You're going to do it when he's nice and young.
We're going to do it when he's nice and we're going to start to teach him. Now, let's say I wanted to teach our dog.
So moldable.
But if I wanted to teach our dog something else instead. So with kids, and we use kids as just an example because it was actually a good segue into kind of what we're talking about. With kids, it's not the kids that are the issue. It's the world that they're brought up in that teaches them to be a certain way. I could teach my dog to be an animal, like you jump wherever you want, you eat whatever you want, you chew whatever you want, you destroy whatever you want. Don't worry about it. And what's the dog going to do? Okay, the dog's going to think there's nothing wrong because the guy who's teaching me is telling me it's okay. So if we don't teach our kids how to be mindful and present, how do we expect our kids to be mindful?
If we don't teach our own kids, then you're going to leave
it up to the public.
Leaving it to the public. So why not do it yourself? Or you would hope someday that they do put some kind of mental health class built into. Maybe let's say around junior year when kids are really. I mean,
anything that's done by the state,
that might be the time where you want to start to talk to them.
I agree, 100%.
That's where they're very vulnerable, and that's where
they start to believe that shit in their head that says, "Hey, Timmy, you're ugly."
They look in the mirror and they go, "Look at my face. I'm ugly. Look at my hair. Whatever it might be.
I'm not smart enough. I'm not athletic enough."
That's where I feel like that's where it starts.
That's where kids.
Why aren't we talking to them? We're not.
And
nobody. Besides home, besides you talking, your kids.
I make a point of always telling my kids. I keep my kids very mindful.
I think a healthy family will talk about things like that.
Yes, you always have that dialogue with your kids about. But it's teaching them.
Don't leave it to everyone else.
Exactly, it's teaching them, moral things and how to be a moral person. That's all fine and dandy, and that's everything. I mean, I would hope most people
remember the saying, "It takes a village."
To raise a child.
These days, some of the villages aren't.
Don't
leave it to the village all the time.
And eventually, I mean, that becomes a problem. Kind of going to what you were saying before about society and about how kids nowadays are dealing with more mental health issues, and I brought it back to they're dealing with it not because there's something wrong, not because there's actually something wrong with them or they did something wrong. It's because they're not prepared for the world that's evolving around them,
and it's evolving fast.
It's evolving. We had a chance as kids because the world moved slower. The world moves very fast nowadays, so unfortunately, these kids don't have a chance. So
we were the last generation. I'm going to say, 70s, 80s, 90s. That was it. Then you're a technology age.
Everything took off,
flying at you.
And these kids are smart. They're intelligent. They're whippy, and a lot of them look. This isn't a stereotype for all children. I'm saying why, mental health is a bigger issue nowadays, and there's a reason why it's a bigger issue.
Back in our time, years ago, were influenced by a handful of people. It might be a teacher, might be a priest, might be anybody. These days, now they're influenced by
influencers. Influencers.
That's correct. And some of them are good, and some of them have a good heart.
They have great platforms.
And then some of them are not.
Yeah, some of them are just.
Why leave it up to all those people to raise kids? Talk to them about these things.
So what should you be teaching? So if I ask a question to everybody out there, what should you be teaching your kids? My answer is going to be above everything, morals. Yes. Okay. That's beautiful. Teach them that from a young age, how to be good people, kind people, loving, empathetic people. Beautiful. Teach them how to be mindful. Teach your kids how to relate with the thoughts in their heads. Conversations. I love my parents to death. My parents did the best of that they could possibly do with the information that they knew. Right? You could only do as much as you know.
It's everybody's first time raising a kid.
Exactly. Right. Right. You can only do as much as you know. What I learned, I'm trying to teach my children. So, teach your kids how to relate with their mind, how to relate with their thoughts, how to relate with their emotions and their feelings. not to bottom them up. A lot of things when we were growing up as kids were unfortunately kind of pushed away. Some people it worked. They were able to bottle it up and keep it there for years. Other people, it kind of festered and eventually became a bigger issue for them as they got older. But teach your kids how to be mindful kids. Teach your kids how to relate with their thoughts, with what their minds, the stories in their minds, whether it tells them that they're the best or it tells them that they're the worst, or they're not worthy or they are worthy. If you could teach your kids that at a young age, you're going to teach your kids how to live, truly live like they were dying, like we're going to live like you were dying, to live without an ego, without this
and then you
story in their head.
John's right. Then you can teach your kids how to be strong, how to be
that comes automatically, yeah.
How to be confident,
yeah,
without carrying an ego.
Exactly.
But you can,
people equate confidence to ego.
Cute little girl, father behind her, and every morning he would recite in the mirror while the little girl's looking in the mirror. Hey, I'm strong. I'm powerful.
I want to say I've seen this. I want to say I've seen this.
It was very popular, but you know what? He's instilling confidence in her, and not an ego.
Was he doing her hair when he was doing it?
Yeah, I think he was. I think he was. But it was pretty.
But that's like affirmations. Affirmations are great.
Great.
Right. Affirmations can be great. They can work great. But teaching, well,
he's teaching her how to think about herself in a positive light.
Yeah, especially when the world nowadays.
About in other episodes,
the world nowadays will show you the ugly side of yourself immediately because you compare yourself to everybody else.
I'm a piece of shit. Sooner or later, you're gonna believe it.
Doesn't take, and it's not later. It's sooner. It'll be sooner. Yeah, it'll be sooner. Yeah. So the importance of reaching kids. And I wish there was. I don't know. Is there a way to do it? I have a couple ideas that I want to take to a local church
someday. Hopefully, maybe there might be a time where you can do a half an hour block with some kids, let's say Zavarian or high school or whatever, where you just talk to them and go.
Will the parents allow it? And this isn't a debate. We're not trying to debate. But this is because you're going to.
100%. You're not teaching them. You're teaching them how to. It's all about peace and positivity. Well, I don't see how you can go wrong in anything.
So for me, what I would tailor the class to, instead of just peace and and which is all, again, like you said before,
morals, talking about yourself and having confidence. And stuff
it's how to relate. It's. So this one thing.
I'm sorry, we've seen plenty of fight videos in high schools about how they're letting their emotions run their their decision making. So imagine that you could tell them how to deal with those emotions.
Respond, don't react.
Exactly.
In chapter 12. Respond, don't react. It's like rule 101. Respond, don't react.
Yeah.
But if whatever this class or whatever it might be could just be formed around how to teach a child, not in getting too deep with it, because if you get too deep, I think you lose the kids.
I agree. And they're not going to give you at first that much time to talk to these kids.
No,
so you got to figure somewhere around 30 minutes or so.
How to teach kids to relate and to not even relate. How to teach kids to become aware that they are not their automatic thoughts. Just to teach them that. You're not these thoughts in your head. You're not going to be every thought you have. Everything you think isn't true. Everything, you don't control. Most of the thoughts that pop into your head during the day are not under your conscious control. They're unconscious thoughts that pop up. Those unconscious thoughts, a lot of times, unfortunately, come from your subconscious, which is learned and is trained over years and years and years of hearing things. You're reacting a certain way. So if we could get to kids at a young age, we teach them how to not have this egoic heaviness, and they'll be able to live their life like they were dying, like with freedom, with pure freedom, like truly freedom.
Did you ever think about writing something up like that?
What do you mean writing something up?
Because you've talked about before. You've talked about how you would love to, be able to get this message out to more people, because if you always felt that if more people, studied this act or acceptance,
just mindfulness in general,
mindfulness, that you feel that it would bring more, peace and tranquility to everyone. Maybe everybody wouldn't be fighting in schools, and one guy bumps into each other and it's an instant fist fight, which turns into anything else from there. So if you got to be a man of action and maybe just put something together, and maybe that is what these people are looking for. Maybe there are schools that are like, what, things have been edgy around here. Why don't we show me your program? and
put a program. Yeah, and listen, I mean, I guess putting a program together, it would
be a lecture. That's all it is. It'd be a lecture.
It'd be a lecture. Yeah,
but it would have to
school
grab their attention very quickly, and you have hold on to it. But these are kids; they're a little different.
I think it would be at it would be at a younger age. Like I'd actually try to, if I ever did something like that, I would like to do it at the elementary level, not necessarily the high school level, because the high school level,
7th grade.
Yeah, at the high school level, there's a lot of personalities already formed.
Well, you know what? You're catching kids going right into puberty too, so it's not a bad
right.
time.
I like to do it at a young middle school, or I mean, I think that would be a good place to do something like that, where you could get in touch with these kids.
I'm challenging you to put something together,
because I don't have enough to do right now. But okay,
no, maybe not now. But make it something that you put on the burner and just be like, you know what, that'd be pretty cool to do if I ever find some time to just maybe jot down some bullet points of what I would like to.
I wonder if it's even ever been done. Not in our town. I don't think it's ever been done. I know they have at the rec center. They've had stuff about that. I've seen.
Yeah, but that's all sign up and go. This is something that would be.
You have to sit there and listen.
That's it. Yeah, and we're talking about kids here. That's most of what you have to do.
You got to sit there. You can't go nowhere, Timmy. Sit down.
Imagine school was voluntary.
Yeah, I don't know.
And you left it up to the kids.
Well, that might be. Yeah,
10 kids in.
I think that would 50 years ago. I think it would have been the same thing.
Oh yeah.
I think most people been like, I go play baseball outside, go to the gym, or go to hang out with my friends. So, so like when we said like before, live like when you were done. When I heard that song, it just.
It is a sad song, but it's actually
it's a sad song,
sad, and it's a lesson. I think
that's it's an amazing lesson. Yeah. To show you that life is we perceive our life to be. Let's just say somebody lives a healthy 80-year-old life, right? Which is a nice run, right?
It's a nice one.
I know my mother-in-law and my father who are in their 80s don't want to hear that, but let's just say
they're rounding the bases still.
Right?
Their game ain't over. They're just rounding the bases.
Exactly. So they're rounding the bases again.
That's a great thing.
Let's say you live into your mid-80s, early 90s. It's a great life. That's a nice.
Yeah.
That's
nothing to be upset
about. No,
you can be sad that you're gonna miss them, but in reality, you're like, hey man,
in our perspective,
we made it.
Like we feel wow. In the realm of universal laws, that's a blip. It's like our lives are like bubbles popping.
Think about how many people are all dying at the same time.
Think about how many people have lived and how many people have lived who have died. The number is insurmountable. It can be calculated, but it'd be an astronomical number, right? Who knows what that number would be? Just to think, like how short our time. Like we think 80 years is a long time. It's like it. When you reach 80 years old, you're going to look back and go, "Wow, where'd that time go?" Because it's that perspective. It's that. Oh, now what? Now I'm 80. Now that did I do?
But I think it's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, you're supposed to.
Yeah, that's the beauty of life.
Your life. Yeah, you shouldn't be thinking about, oh my God, I'm going to die.
No. That's not what I'm trying to say.
I know what you mean.
Oh, okay.
No, I totally understand.
Yeah, that's not what I'm trying to say.
But I think it's the way it was meant to be. Honestly, I really do.
Well, there's a reason why things are the way they are. I don't have the answer for that. I don't think any of us do.
The other day, what answer? Live your life, and here's a good example why. How many times have we seen marathon runners die in the middle of their run, right? Their picture of health. These people run every day. Their cardiovascular system is just it should be magnificent.
Yeah, the underlying issues.
And they drop dead in the middle of a run, right? Yeah. Okay. Then there's people who live to be 80 and have been overweight.
Eating cheeseburgers every day.
Since their 20s.
Yeah.
Who can predict it? I don't think it's predictable at all.
No, there are things that better or worsen your odds for sure. We know that. But I agree. You can't predict it.
You can't predict it. There are people who look we all know people who look absolutely healthy and passed away instantly.
Yeah.
And then we look at people and go, Johnny over here is not going to go another 5 years. And he turns out to be 85.
There you go.
That's what you think I was going to say.
That's what I like to hear.
Wait for it.
No. But it's for how short our life actually is.
Yeah.
I would love for people to start getting out of their heads and into their life. And there's a book by John Kabat-Zinn, I think is his name. He's a doctor. I don't know if he was a psychologist, how to get out of your life and out of your mind and into your life. It was one of the first books I read when I started my journey years ago. It was one of the first books actually my therapist, Dr. Tatiana, told me to read. She gave me a few books to read, and that was one. And I read it, and it was a book. It was about mindfulness, right? And it started to open my eyes to this. But even that whole term, how to get out of your mind and into your life. Like, imagine we could get people to do that. And even look, I had somebody who was 82 years old call me last week, for a free 30-minute session, and we spoke for a half hour. Lovely lady, right? At 82 years old, this woman says, I've been listening to what you guys talk about. I really like it. John, I want to know more about mindfulness. I've tried meditation, but it doesn't work. And I said, well, what's not working? My mind's not getting quiet. And I explained to her, well, it's a practice. It's not about quieting your mind. It's about observing your mind. And in observing your mind, you start becoming the watcher of it. And you're not attaching to the thoughts. And when you're not attaching to the thoughts, you do have a quiet mind, because now you're not running with those thoughts. You're just watching them float by. So you find a stillness behind them. Oh, okay. So at 82, and we talked for another, for about, a little
still
while
working
longer.
on. I don't know.
Yeah.
I still don't know how to do
So,
that.
so
I'm working on it, though.
even with all that, at 82, this woman comes and says, I want to learn more about this. So I think that's phenomenal. So even if, let's hope she lives till 100. 110.
She's obviously not paying attention to,
No. And she even gave me an example. She goes, this happened last week, and I kind of lost my temper a little bit. She goes, and I noticed I didn't like that. I'm like, well, that's awareness. You realize that you don't like that behavior in yourself. I go,
now you have an opportunity to adjust.
Exactly. Yeah. You have an opportunity. So at 82, if somebody could come and say it, somebody in their teens, if they could have that, that awareness to want to become aware, or that, wow, I want to know more about this. Like, it'll make your life feel lighter at a very young age. And then you could live that rest of the blip of our lives until 80, 90, or 100, or whatever it might be, in a whole different state, with a whole new perspective, with a different look at it. And again, life will kick you in the nuts along the way. This doesn't mean that life stops. Life goes, oh, wait, everybody, John and Anthony have become aware and they're mindful. Leave them alone.
Yeah.
No, life's going to go like this. Wait, how about I hit them off the head a little harder to see if they really are? But it might do that. But once you have that experience, left hook, right hook, punch, yeah, you're going to take some shots, but they're much easier to absorb and then to keep flowing through, because you're not going to make this woe is me story, oh my God, or whatever the story might be in your head that might happen.
Listen, if you're having issues, what could it hurt to try this kind of therapy? I mean, that's how I.
Well, it's not even a therapy. Well, you're talking about ACT.
Yeah,
you're talking about ACT. All right, ACT is a form of therapy that can be taught by non-therapists, but it's a form of therapy.
Yeah. I mean, what do you have to lose?
That's your way of life.
It can become a way of life, you know. And I got to be honest with you, a lot of what convinced me to just, look into it and, and see how it affects me and, if it works for me is, looking at John. I've known John, and it feels like two different lives, we went to college together and high school together and so on. And then we didn't communicate as much for a while. And I didn't even realize I didn't even realize he was having an issue. But John's completely different now. He doesn't let anything faze him. So I kind of think that's a pretty good quality, really. Think about all the things you get upset about and not letting it drive you crazy.
And it's not people say this, well, I don't give a shit. I don't care what
they say. That's weird. Them saying they don't give a shit.
I love that. I love that he said that.
They don't give a shit means they give a shit. Yeah. They don't give a shit. It wouldn't even be on your mind.
Exactly. So even when somebody says, I don't give a shit, they're full of shit.
Oh, I don't end it on that.
But I love that, because most people will say, well, I don't give a shit what happens. So I don't say I don't give a shit. I'll say something happens. I don't like it. I don't have to like that I have to deal with this or navigate this or entertain this right now. But I don't let it consume me. I don't attach to it. I deal with it in the time that needs to be dealt with, and my life continues.
What are you going to do?
And at all times,
just sit around and cry about it.
I'm at a higher, but it's taking a nothing. It's taking a higher level. Complaining. We were talking.
Complaining.
Yeah, you
crying about it.
You sent me something on Instagram yesterday, and I sent you a message back about a therapist who was talking. Yes. I said, we've actually spoken about complaining makes you the victim. keeps you. What do they call them? Victim mentality?
You victimize. You become the victim.
Yeah.
Victim mentality.
That's victim mentality, right? They have a victim, or somebody goes, "Oh, woe is me, woe is me."
It's very easy to get there. Let me tell you something. But that's not the right path to forgiveness of yourself.
Nope.
That's not the right path. It's just not going to work like that. You keep on playing the victim, and you want everybody else to know you're the victim. It just never ends. It never ends.
It's a hamster wheel that you don't get off of.
Just let it go. You have to chalk things up to everybody makes mistakes. They're big, they're small, but it's a mistake. Everybody does it. When you hit our age, you're like, everybody makes a mistake. It's just the way it is.
Nobody says there's no such thing as perfection.
No, but
let's get religious. Even Jesus flipped the tables. Remember?
The trap is that you keep on striving for that perfection.
Perfection is
that carrot in front of you.
Yes, perfection does not exist.
So don't chase perfection. Just you got to do the best you can. That's it. That's life. Hey, give it a good crack. Don't get fanatical about things. Really.
I mean, so that's a very simplistic layman's way to say
to simple people.
But
like me.
But here's and this is where language always ties into everything. When people, and I agree with everything you said. But what we said before, I don't give a shit. So we go, yeah, I don't give nothing, but I don't give a shit. Meaning it and saying it are two completely. People go with this. Agreed. Yes, I'm accepting, John. I'm accepting it. I'm gonna accept this. I'm accepting it, and then I'll go. But are you really accepting it? I think I am. I go. If you're saying if the question is, am I doing it right? Then you're not doing. Then you're still not doing it.
When you stop talking about it.
Wow.
Okay. Stop talking. You know what?
Well,
John's my buddy, right?
But not even in your mind.
Talking about the thing that's bothering.
But both ways. You're not having the conversation with yourself all day, or engaging it at least.
True,
I should say.
Very true.
So verbally and non-verbally.
But John and I are good friends. So if I was going to complain about something, it would go at him or my wife or something like that. But just the ability to let that go is acceptance. And the fact that you're not bringing it up all the time and constantly
talking about it,
talking about it.
You're not making it a reality in your life.
Once it's a reality that, shit, I fucked up. And, this happened because of it. And you got to go on. You just have to. Because if you're going to bury yourself in your bed and just hope the world goes away, it just doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. You have to be able to push past it. You have to. It's just that if you want to continue to live, and I mean live, not be alive, but live.
Not say what they say. Not surviving, but thriving.
Thriving. But if you
not
want
surviving,
to be able
but thriving,
get out into the world and live and enjoy your life, you have to accept and move on. You have to. Look at some of these old timers out there. Some of these old time comedians. You see them on shows and stuff. They talk about things that went wrong back in the day or whatever. They've obviously moved on from it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of
Mel Gibson. Look at Mel Gibson.
He
said years ago, he said some things.
Anti-Semitic shit.
Yeah, well, he was intoxicated and so on. But hey, listen, I remember. He's helped a lot of people since then. I don't know if you know about this.
No, I don't know much about.
He's helped a lot of people Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, I remember he had a very checkered past.
But he credits him with helping save his life.
Yeah, and he turned his life around. As far, I mean, I don't know.
So I don't know one of the personally terms he used, because Robert Downey Jr., you might have seen this on a video clip or something, was thanking Mel Gibson. And Mel Gibson's advice to him was, if you hug the cactus long enough, and that was a term he used about, accepting what you've done, and he calls it hugging the cactus.
Yes, which is painful.
It is painful, but you have to do it. If you hug the cactus long enough, it'll bring you humility, and your life will start to begin again.
Yeah,
look at what happened to Robert Downey Jr., where he was from jail.
Oh my God, drugs, jail, alcohol.
Guy turned himself around. You want to know why? He accepted everything he did wrong.
And he chose
apologized for it.
And he chose to live. He chose to live a different life. But he chose to live a different life.
Alone.
Yeah,
the guy is a shining example of it.
I like hug the cactus.
Yeah.
Because
look up that video.
Because in acceptance is one of the most important things, and we're kind of jumping. But this is how these. Here's what I love about the show is even the show evolves during it. Acceptance, and it's why I said before, meaning it and saying it are two different things. So people say, "Push through, get tough, you can do it." Blah 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 blah. That's great.
You can't just say you're hugging the cactus.
You got to hug the cactus. So if you're going to hug the cactus, acceptance. In acceptance, there is liberation. Mm-hmm. There is freedom.
Yeah.
There is also sitting with ugly feelings, sitting with ugly memories, sitting with ugly thoughts, sitting with ugly emotions, sitting with whatever it might be, allowing that, allowing them wholeheartedly to be there, not want. You could want them to go away, but not needing them to go away, and that's when things start to change. And I don't know Robert Downey. I don't know his exact path.
I actually ask anybody who's watching this, pull up. It was an acceptance speech Robert Downey Jr. gave, and Mel Gibson was in the background standing.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
And he turned and thanked him, and the way Robert Downey Jr. The man is a talented guy. He knows how to talk publicly and talk to people.
Iron Man, come on!
But he's just so good at it. He's really smooth. He's smooth. Let's just say that.
Great actor. He became a great actor.
Great actor. He seems like a great person.
Too. Yeah, I
mean, changed his life.
Yeah,
around, so,
I credit him for
watch
sure.
that video if you can. Just it really is a point in acceptance and moving on, accepting what you did, accepting what happened, accepting the pain, and then being able to move forward. Because once you accept all that, it's a lot easier to move forward. You're dropping that luggage off your shoulders. You're dumping the jacket, and you're running.
Why carry it?
Yeah, why carry it? But he says it right in that speech. If you can, check it out. It's pretty awesome. It's only about 30 seconds.
I'm going to look it up. But why carry it? Most people, unfortunately, are afraid to put down what they know, because they feel that, what am I if I don't know this? What am I if I am not this? What am I if I'm not? Yeah. And for me, it's liberating to be like, I don't need to know what I am. Yes, I know what I am a father. I am a this. I have titles. I have labels to do things in life, to live a functioning everyday life. Yes, we understand that. But beyond that, I don't need to know. I don't need to know that I am, I teach, or I talk about mindfulness and spirituality and acceptance, and I want to be a life coach, and I have the website. That's all great. But beyond all that, I'm not any of those things. I'm a presence, an awareness that sees all this. And I navigate through life and use it properly the best way I can. When shitty things happen, I apply acceptance to it, that yes, this is happening. I don't need it to be differently. It's not the woe is me story, because that doesn't get you anywhere. It's not this is the worst.
Sit around and cry about it.
It's not. It's a, okay, this is happening, or this has happened. This is what happened in my life. But this is where I am now, and I choose to live my life the way I want to. So imagine we could teach, getting back to what we said in the beginning of the show.
Yep.
A 15-year-old kid that, or a 13-year-old kid that, or a 12-year-old kid that, and this kid, I've tried to ingrain this in my children quietly. So I told Dr. Tatiana years ago, I go, when I first finished with her, I was like, my mission is going to be to drop seeds of this. I said to my children, I said, how would you do it? She goes, exactly what you said. She should drop seeds. Can't force it to them. If you try to force it to them, they're not going to accept. The kids they're not going to absorb it, because it could be a little, whatever for them. Drop seeds. Say the right things around them. Use terminology that points their perspective and points their focus in a certain direction. I've seen, now my children are children. Are they perfect? No. Are they kids? Yes. I mean, my son's a sophomore in college. My daughter's a junior in high school. So they're teenagers. They're good kids. Absolutely. They're angels for the most part. But the seeds I've dropped, I see them sprouting. Not like my kids walk around like full-fledged Zen Buddhists. Like, yes, nothing bothers us, Daddy, and we are absolutely above all. No, they're kids. But like things they say, and I look at my wife and I'd be like, did you hear that?
Yeah.
That's not something a 19-year-old boy says. Mm-hmm. It's not. I didn't say shit like that when I was 19. There's an awareness and a heightened ability to see things from a different perspective. To say, yeah, okay, that's a thought. I don't need to attach to it. Or that, like when they say certain things, I'm like, wow, that's great. And it all starts out with seeds. So if we could get to a 12-year-old kid and plant those seeds, or mom and dad, like you don't need the class would be great, but it goes beyond that. Like this should be something that's done in home, like you do and I do with our kids, right?
Yeah.
That's where I think those seeds flourish the most, when they hear or they see their parents acting in a certain way. Like,
I just think you'd be able to get to more masses.
I think it's a great idea.
A program.
I agree. But it's like you're going to school and you're teaching your kid math, and your kid's having a hard time understanding things. He comes home and the parents don't want to be bothered helping him with the math. that kind of defeats the purpose. Like if they're not getting the support at home, and so that's why we said it'd be nice to reach the kids. But
who knows, man?
Yeah.
Someday, you never.
It
know.
happens. I know. Look, I'm sure it happens in other. I'm not. I don't know in other countries. I'm sure I can almost guarantee there are in other countries.
I can almost guarantee,
especially in the Far East.
I don't know if this for certain, but I bet you there's countries who have mental health programs built into their school system.
Well, it's. I think the best mental health program any school could do is
and we're out of our minds.
The best mental health program a school anybody could do if you want to work with kids is. Yes, not saying it's okay. You could say whatever. You could be whatever you want to be. Name yourself whatever you want. That's appeasing and that's pacifying them. You want to help kids in mental health? Teach them how, and this is going to lead to a very aware and a very mentally aware and mentally heightened population of people. I don't know if the masses want that or not. But it's teaching them
their mental health.
Yeah, it's teaching them about awareness from a very, 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 very young age. These kids grow up. It encompasses everything else.
It can only make them better people.
No, 100. Not only beings. It will. It will.
But my point is,
guaranteed.
Where's the negativity in this? I don't see any downfall to it.
On a human level, there is none. On a whatever level, I don't know. I don't know the red tape part of it and all that stuff.
Because even if we talk politics, who would be upset about it? It's about being able to, not let your emotions overrule.
Who knows? And look, there's levels. There's levels.
I don't know.
There's level of politics and stuff like that we can't understand. It doesn't align with my agenda. It doesn't align with this. Now that's a shame because it's not the greater good of humanity about that. It's the greater good of my party. Whatever.
Presented correctly.
Yeah.
I think people would see it can only be beneficial, building their confidence, making sure their ego doesn't get, if you put like bullet points, teaching them this, and that, then you design how you're going to deliver it. But the bullet points, like as I'm a parent, I'll sign off on this. You're going to teach a kid confidence. You're going to teach a kid this. And then you present it in a way that, listen, if you can accept the things that happen in your life and not get emotionally attached to them, you can move on.
Well,
and
it's
past it because
it's allowing the emotion to flow through you.
Exactly. No matter what the problem is, nothing is so catastrophic that we can't accept it. And
no, but our minds make it out to be.
If you could show them that will happen, then you could teach them from an early age, not to prevent that, to obviously see it coming. Which is good.
This is I do this a lot with him, and it drives him crazy sometimes.
Drives me mental. I know what he's going to do.
I play devil's advocate with him sometimes. So I always say
hold on, but he plays devil's advocate sometimes with things that are like 99.9% of human beings would be like, that annoys me.
Yeah. Well, yes, and I do that for a reason because I see him.
He won't give me it'll annoy me too.
Because I see him getting attached to it. So I'm trying to be a teacher, quote unquote,
I gotta tell
by playing that to show be like
play your friend Anthony now. What gets me angry is that
why are you getting angry?
No, see,
but he
it drives me batty about you.
Why you can't drive?
Is that you find an angle like to?
It's not an angle. It's an aware, mindful.
I'm gonna tell people.
Neutral
exactly
position.
Okay, you're on a flight.
Which one? Oh my God! With this,
you're on a flight and somebody puts their bare
hold on. Before you go,
toes,
we're gonna replay the conversation honestly, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I'm not gonna get that deep, but anyway, they put their toes on your armrest, and I was like, oh, that would drive me.
By the way, this came out of the fucking blue. We were just driving home.
Why? Because I'm trying to find.
No, you weren't trying.
I'm like, this is something that if I say this to John, of course, who wouldn't that upset? And John's like, well, I wouldn't let it get to me that much. And I'm like,
I didn't say that. So
I picked something that if anybody put their hairy toes on your armrest.
I did say, would I appreciate it? It's exactly what it says. This is why he gets pissed. I said, would I appreciate it? Absolutely not. Would I say something to the gentleman? Would I say something to the gentleman or to the gentlewoman or to the person or the child to remove their feet? Absolutely, I would. But I would not take an emotional reaction to it. That's where you were like, but you won't be pissed. You won't.
Because to me, the act alone is a sign of disrespect. Because they know that is gross, and no human being should do that to another person.
Here comes a volley.
Oh.
Didn't we just speak about not allowing the emotion to overcome you and to speak and to be more mindful?
Yes.
So I could get my point
Yeah,
across to the hairy foot person, right? Like, I look, I have sandals on. I can get my foot across to the hairy foot person without me being like, what the?
Listen, I don't know if I'm standing up in the middle of the flight and dropping an elbow into his face. Initially, I'm not saying it won't happen.
You said that. Yeah, you did say that. I agree. I'm like,
but the initial thought is, I can't believe this guy is doing this. He's obviously he knows that would annoy a normal human.
But see,
being,
that's different.
You know?
That's different from what you originally said, because you said, I can't. Okay, so if a foot showed up on my armrest and I'm sitting up, I would say this. No, I would say this. I'd be like this. I'd be like this. I'd be like this. Well, okay, what the fuck? You know, I would think that.
But then I would get out of you. I was trying to get out of you,
but I don't. But here's the thing: the difference between me, I don't say how I live my life, like what I've learned over the years is the emotion's gonna be there. I watch the emotion and I think from it, I respond from a level above it, and I'll say, okay, unfortunate situation, stinkiest foot on my thing. Turn around, sir. I'm sorry. Can you please remove this? Absolutely. And if it gets to a point where you need to get louder or firm, I can still do it from a neutral point. What pisses him off is that I don't come out and say, yeah, man, you know, you're right. That would effing piss me off. And this guy, the nerve, I would have.
I don't need you to be that crazy about it. I just need you to go, man, that would piss me off too. You know, like you made it like I was a maniac.
I didn't say that.
and I think anybody watching this would be like, if some hairy toes came onto your armrest, like just barely touching your elbow, I think the entire audience would freak out. Not meaning mentally, like just go, this is crazy. I can't believe somebody's doing.
So what? And this is what I love about this show.
I'm not 100%.
This is what I love about
where John is. I'm ready to flip the table right now. This
is what I love about the show. Is I try to like, okay, that's great. I could appreciate that 100%. And this is how I would respond to that.
I know two different Johns, so you got to understand. I know the John that would be
back in the day. Maybe I would.
The other Italian like me that would just be like, that's a sign of disrespect. Instantly a sign of disrespect. Now the new John is different, and I'm getting used to how he reacts to things. Which
that's what really changed. You know,
how you react to things.
I see, and I am human, so like I know he's making me sound like higher than thou. An android. I'm not. Believe me, I do get upset about things. I have reacted in life because and even to this day, but my reactions are uber short nowadays. Like you can even ask my wife. Like if I am, I'd be like, you know what? And I'll stop and I'll be like, I'm reacting, and I'll immediately like 100 to 2 miles an hour, boom, and I'll be like, okay, time out a second, everybody. So when I say that, and what annoys the shit out of him is that I don't do it on purpose. I want you to know that I don't do it.
I know you.
I'm not doing it because I'm trying to get a rise out of you. I'm doing it because I'm trying to.
I know that.
I try to make this. Well, this is how I react, and I put a mirror up.
I know, but like
because I see you driving, and you're like this.
Because it's like if you're a buddy with somebody, you just want to throw something out there that you both have in common, like that would automatically.
We don't like hairy feet on our armrests.
That's what I was trying to get past
and we got there by the end.
That was just a sign of this, and to him it was just like he wasn't getting even
I don't get disrespected
remotely close to where I was, and I was like, how can this fucking be? This can't be, So I just couldn't get around it at first. Like I understand where he's coming from, but it just that would evoke an emotion, I think, out of 99.9%.
And by the way, you're probably right with that statement.
And I guess I couldn't comprehend how he would handle it now, knowing how he would have handled it 20 years ago would have been different.
So I get this. Am I disrespected by it? No, because I don't take things personally. I should say, I don't, for the most part, allow myself. Allow myself. I don't take. It's not like somebody's attacking or they're doing this to me because I don't take that. I look at the situation and I go, yeah, not a fan, not liking it. Will do my best to remove the foot from my armrest, but without making it are you disrespecting me? Because watch this.
I'm not saying you got to say that, but in my head,
the
act alone was a sign of I don't care.
So
who the fuck
all right,
so I'm going to put my toes.
I'll play devil's advocate again. So I'm in your head. I'm going to be the voice in your head. Here comes the foot, and here comes the voice. What the fuck?
Really,
who the fuck? Who does this?
Kidding me?
Who does this guy think he is putting it on my? And now while you're having here's the thing. While you're having the conversation, just
I'm playing.
Just play it out with me, right?
Gotcha.
as you're having the conversation in your head, are you watching it and realizing where it's going, or are you hook, line, and sinker following it, being like, yeah. Then it goes level 1, level 2, level 3.
Knowing you now and knowing what we talk about now, maybe I would catch it before it got absolutely out of control.
You have to enjoy it. Nobody enjoys hairy feet.
Internally,
maybe somebody does. I don't. If you do, great. Enjoy it.
Internally, I'm like, do I just grab like one of his toes and maybe just fucking yank it as hard as I can? I don't know. But internally,
I wouldn't touch it.
That's internally. Well, it's already there. Bro. It's already there. You know, I'm willing to get a little toe juice on my hand to yank a toe out.
Yeah, you didn't think you were going to hear this today, did you?
That's funny. That's good stuff.
Yeah, it was.
And you know what? But that applies to real life. It just, you bring up something that would evoke emotion out of 99.9% of humanity.
Hello.
And there's your example, folks, of how not to let it get to you. And here's your example of maybe you might go over the top. I don't know. But I don't think I would initially just undo my belt and just turn around with a flying elbow. No. But I
could honestly say he wouldn't do that.
No,
he wouldn't. I don't doubt it. I know you wouldn't do that. I'm more. Are you pissing yourself off?
Along with an elbow check of his foot off my.
Look, I can understand. You turn around and you're like,
that should be enough of a symbol, like knocking his feet off my thing and then just giving him the dirtiest stink eye.
So when I do this, not just with Anthony, but I'll do it with a lot of people, and a lot of people, by the way, have the same response you have. Some people,
I didn't
and
know
it's usually people of a certain
ethnic
person. No,
like Italians like me get crazy.
Hold on a second.
I thought that's what you're gonna say for sure.
I think most of them are Italian. Who actually
said different answers, folks. Yeah.
Actually, most of them are Italian. And I've heard that multiple times. But doesn't anything bother you? And I've heard that's not normal. Things won't bother you. You got to be upset about something. And I'm not saying you said this to me. I've heard this from other people, and I'd be like, I don't have to like something, but why would I allow that person to steal my peace?
Can you try to explain it like this? This for me, okay? And just be like, just turn around and go, yeah.
But why?
Hold on, because
I choose not to.
No. See, that's different. I just go, of course, just like every other person in the world, that would evoke an angry response. But I see it coming, and I decide not to let it.
But you asked me personally, what would you do? So I gave you my response.
I know, but sometimes you put it in like it's like talking to a doctor that's using all medical terms, and you're like, can you slow that down and give it to me in layman's terms? Well, layman's terms are, yeah, of course. That would piss anyone off, but I'm not going to let it evoke an emotion out of me and just get. So
what if I told you during that whole conversation?
That would have explained it better for me.
What if I told you during that whole conversation? I did say that a couple of times, but you were so hell bent. You were so hell bent on me saying maybe that would piss me off that you weren't hearing me.
Maybe if you would have started with that, we would have went there.
I honestly, I don't. Henry would probably
the toes on the armrest.
And Henry would agree because Henry probably would have said this. But Henry is very much. Not that we were all the same.
I think that what was getting me was you were saying, no, I wouldn't let it, or I wouldn't get angry. And I'm saying to myself, initially,
he's calling bullshit.
Initially, it's going to get you angry, even if it's for a millisecond, and you catch it and you go, all right, I'm not going to let me get credit. But initial responses, are you fucking kidding? Are these toes on my armrest? That's the initial response from every.
By the way, this has never happened, thankfully.
But I've seen it happen. I mean, I've seen pictures or videos on flights.
Yeah, no, I've never.
People who do this.
I've been fortunate enough never to have toe jam incident.
Wait, how about I saw another one? This lady had a real long hair. You know, the TVs are in the headrest.
And she throws the hair over.
Throws the head over, just completely blocks it.
You know, well, if I said this, get a scissor and just cut right across.
I saw the lady behind her. Her and her husband, I think, were chewing gum. She took his gum. She just puts it in the hair, and that's it. But I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah. So that's a funny response. And don't get me wrong, it's funny. I'm not going to say I'm not laughing at it.
They didn't get that crazy about it because they didn't look angry. They just looked like
they put gum in their hair. That's enough.
Through me. Here's this.
They put gum in her hair. That's enough.
Because the person who did it damn well knows what she did.
Oh well.
That's my.
I thought you were going to say someone took a scissor out and went snip.
Oh, I think that'd be a lot worse.
No,
gum.
I would have just taken the hair, flipped it over, said, "Ma'am, your hair."
You touch the hair.
Yeah, but then if it comes back a second time,
you know, I sat next to on a flight to Australia.
It's a short flight.
That was, first of all, it's 5 hours from New York to California, then another 14 to Australia.
14,
and I was in
Steerage?
Yeah, pretty much. If they could have put me on the tail with duct tape, they would have, right? Just barely, right? But and I sat next to this white dude who was like a Rastafarian, but the hair was
and they don't
straight
wash
up
their
and
hair, right? It's
yeah,
gotta
but
be...
dude, we're flying in coach. His hair is spillage. It's like an umbrella over my head, you know?
Wow. You sitting next to
14
you,
hours.
or?
Yeah, I watched about, 30 Seinfeld episodes back to back. So,
Wow.
yeah. And that's what you do. That's it.
Yeah, again, not a pleasant situation to be in. I agree with him. It could definitely be anxiety provoking. It could be emotionally provoking.
I think you're shortchanging yourself. Like you say, like you didn't tell me when we were arguing about that or talking about it, that just recognize that anger will pop up.
Of course it will.
Okay, but you wouldn't tell me that. You were giving me the old Zen.
No, I didn't say
I'm
that.
gonna wish his foot away off my arm.
I never said that. See, he's full of shit. I never.
Honestly,
I did.
I did say the old Zen talk, and I was like, hold on. You're not going to get upset initially.
I did say I won't like it. Of course, I won't like it.
I won't like it, and upset. I think I was going with upset, meaning, there will be.
So, I've learned something in my life, and this is even before this happened. Before I started changing the way I looked at life years ago. Whenever somebody would have an emotional response, and this is just something that was ingrained in me. I don't know, something I learned when I was younger, or I don't know. Whenever somebody would have an emotional response to something right away, my response would not be to react with an emotion back. Okay. My response is has always been to lower the temperature. Immediately, let's lower the temperature.
I'm fine with
right?
that.
So something as a cop, right? I'm sure de-escalation, right? Something that you guys are probably very well trained.
By the way, they didn't use that word when I was a cop, but they seem to use it a lot now.
De-escalating.
Yeah, that's the word of the day.
Yeah. So I've always, by nature, I've always kind of done that. Being like, all right, hold on, let me see if I can calm this person down. But maybe it was being in, I've always worked in construction my whole life, and you work with a lot of personalities, and you realize and I've seen like guys button heads, and I'm like, well, nothing's getting accomplished. These guys are fighting like animals, and we're still at ground zero. So maybe it's like a management skill that I kind of learned at a young age, right? To be like, all right, I'm just going to watch this and, and go from there. But
first of all, we should acknowledge, let's say you have two construction workers going at it, right? You had to acknowledge that they're both upset about something. I could see that you're angry. I could see that you're angry. Yeah. But you know what? At the end of the day, if I let you two duke it out, where are we going from here? What's the end result? I agree. And you know what? And then you're forcing them to realize their anger, if it provokes that fight, it's going to do nothing.
I agree.
You're giving them a second pause. So as a boss, you're giving them that second to pause and go, hold on. Just fucking think about this 1 second. I know you're angry. Before you do something about it, let's think about what the end result is going to be here. Are we going to accomplish anything? Is anything going to change right now or 2 minutes from now? No, nothing. So why are we doing this?
Yeah, no, maybe that's where it came from too.
But that is pretty much probably, I think that mindfulness plays into that.
Yeah. So anyway, that was just a little funny story, kind of end the show on. But
good stuff, man. Good stuff.
I think we're good.
All right, pal.
So
thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. We got to get our asses going on that side so we could make this a party. And that's it. All right, guys. I'm good. So we'll catch everybody next time. Have Henry back, and we will talk to everybody then. Thank you, guys. Peace out. Have a great week. Bye-bye. The insights and discussions that we speak about on our show are our own opinions and based on our life experiences. If you or someone in your family or someone you know is suffering and in need of help, please get them that help through medical attention or seeking proper therapy. Again, what we speak about are based on our experiences and not intended to be taken as a form of therapy. Thank you.